What's up guys, and welcome back to episode number 3 of my F1 2018 career mode with Ferrari. Back here today for the Chinese Grand Prix off the back of 2 podium finishes. Unfortunately they were thirds, but they're still podiums granted. So yeah, we arrived in China without a victory. Our teammate has got one. And let me know down in the comments who you think is going to take the victory in this race today. It'll be really interesting to see who you guys pick. Before we get into the action, let's take a look at some more of the off-track happenings between the Bahrain and Chinese Grand Prix. So we're going to do a chassis upgrade, the first one in that department of the season, the central under tray, which should be with us next round in Azerbaijan. So that would be nice to have on the car. And of course, we were meant to have some new parts on the car. Unfortunately, one of them did fail quality control. It was the front wing gurney flap, so we're going to have to redevelop that one. But we do have one other upgrade on the car for this weekend. So yeah, back to the drawing board on this. Another 250 resource points for the gurney flap, which should be with us, or will be with us, in Azerbaijan. We're going to take a quick look at the power unit as well to see how that is coping. So you can see 27% overall wear. You can take a look at the individual ones if you want as well. But yeah, a little bit touch and go. I feel like we probably will incur some penalties later on in the season. So very much tempted to do some durability upgrades to prevent this from happening, especially if we're going to be fighting for the title. Taking a look at the R&D tree. We are the only one of the top 3 teams that has actually brought any upgrades to this race in China. McLaren and Renault have brought big upgrades here, both overtaking Haas in the development race. But yeah, Ferrari are the only one of the top 3 teams to bring upgrades, which means we should theoretically have the pace over Mercedes this weekend. And in practice, that was very much looking the case. We put in, I believe we were probably the only driver, apart from Max Verstappen, that put in a qualifying simulation. But still, we managed to be 7/10 clear of the Red Bull man, which was boding well as we went into qualifying for the weekend.
Good day today. Tell us about it from your perspective.
You really put a lot of effort into practice today. Are you testing new components?
Once again, just like in the last round, I'm going to say about gathering data for the durability, because, yeah, I want the department to know that we're working on that.
You had an incredible pace in practice. Would you say that you're pretty comfortable with the car?
The aero package is absolutely brilliant. It really does feel good around this track, so I'm going to go for that one.
It's the start of the season. How do you think things are going to go for you?
Well, for this one, I'm definitely going to say I'm going for the title. I want Vettel to know that I'm not going to play second fiddle to him. And that also increases our showmanship.
Great. Well, that's everything.
We'd like to welcome you from wherever in the world you join us today for this F1 qualifying session here in Shanghai, China.
So getting into Q3 then for our final and actually only lap in the 3rd qualifying session. We made a little bit of a mistake on our first run, so we just bailed out of it, came back into the pits, and here we go then, going into turn 1. A very difficult corner to get right, especially as I've recently ditched the racing line on the F1 game. So yeah, it was quite interesting to sort of try and get the right turn in. But as we go through the first few corners in this snail section, I feel like I did pretty well. Not a lot of wheel spin on exit either, which is something I usually endure through that section. So yeah, car feeling very stable through the first sector, and as we come through turn 6, clipping that inside apex and not taking too much of the exit curb either, because that can throw you off. And now going through turn 7, we were flat through the first half of it, but just couldn't quite hold it all the way through. So yeah, maybe have to wait till season 2 when we've done some more development on that. But yeah, middle sector again feeling pretty tidy through here. Maybe not carrying the maximum speed that we could, but it's a very tidy first 2 sectors, and you can see 19,000th of a second behind Lewis Hamilton. So if we can nail this final sector, then we might be on pole position. This is really going to, you know, show whether the Ferrari engine, with its upgrade of course, is up to scratch with that Mercedes one. So we've put it in overtake mode, maximum speed possible on the straights, and we're really going for it now. Just, you know, thinking about picking our braking zone, which is the 100-meter board. Can we get it turned in? Yes, we clipped that inside apex beautifully and run it out not too wide. Again, getting a nice little exit before now going into the final corner. And we've lost ERS deployment, just like in Bahrain. We don't have enough to get over the line, and that has cost us pole position. So disappointing, but it's still second place, so we can't be too mad about that. And once again, just like the last round in Bahrain, it's Lewis Hamilton on pole position ahead of ourselves in second place. So, you know, we've out-qualified our teammate once again, who's a further 3 tenths behind. A cracking lap from Hamilton. And then Verstappen, who was 7 tenths off pole, still managed to make it into 4th position, which was, yeah, pretty interesting to see. Just ahead of his teammate, Daniel Ricciardo, with Valtteri Bottas all the way down in P6. Not a good qualifying for him. Nearly a second down on his teammate as well. So he'll be looking to make that up in the race. And then we've got the 2 Renaults once again in 7th and 8th, with Alonso in 9th, Magnussen 10th. And then we've got the rest of the field. Not anybody notably out of position. Sorokin put in a good performance there in 16th though.
Hard work, ingenuity and ambition. All things you'll find in abundance amongst the 15 million people of Shanghai over there to our southeast.
Here it is then, time for race day. And you can see there in the driver's standings, we're currently sitting in P2, but our teammate 13 points ahead of us. And we won't want that to stay the case for much longer because, as I mentioned earlier, I don't want the team to think of me as a number 2 driver. I really do want to fight for this championship, and our car is looking at quick enough to do so. So, yeah, fingers crossed that today we can get past Lewis Hamilton and get this first victory of the season. Our teammate is on the soft tyres, and we are underway on the quicker compound, and already Verstappen ahead of Vettel. Obviously, Vettel is going to be running long in this race, but getting a poor start, and he'll want to try and stay in contact with myself and Hamilton. But as of yet, there's no position changes between the top 2. We're sticking behind Lewis, and Vettel has got back ahead of Max Verstappen into P3. So, yeah, an alright start for us, but we never really challenged Lewis Hamilton into the first turn, and the same goes for turn 6. Again, braking probably a little bit too late there, missing our apex, but still managing to carry pretty good speed as we come through turn 7 and 8 now in this middle sector. Really, really good, feels really brilliant in this car. And as we make our way now towards turn 9, it's a corner which I've traditionally struggled on in previous years on F1 games. And there you can see Hamilton getting a very good exit there. But anyway, we did manage to stay in contact with Hamilton. He did set the fastest lap of the race on at lap 2, but we're still within DRS range, which is, of course, vital, especially as early as lap 3. You don't want him getting ahead of you by more than a second. And sure enough, we do pick up DRS on this main straight down the back of the circuit towards the hairpin, and we're gaining and gaining on Hamilton, showing just what development work has gone into our engine over the last race or so. And Hamilton there ran a bit wide. We tried to take advantage of it, but we still didn't manage to make our way through because we are coming into the pits at the end of this lap. Those ultra soft tyres don't last long at all around this Shanghai circuit because, of course, there's a gap of 2 compounds. The next softest tyre is the soft tyre. So yeah, that's why we're pitting so early in this race. Hopefully we can stay in contact with Hamilton. Of course, we had trouble last time in Bahrain with our pit stop, and it's the same once again. We're just not being released from the pit box, which is quite annoying, especially when there was no real traffic in the way. So I'm not sure whether I'm doing something wrong or whether it is the game, but nonetheless we are released, and we are currently in a lowly P16. Of course, that will improve when other cars come into the pit lane. So yeah, it was quite an early pit stop, I do admit that, but with Hamilton coming in, I thought, you know what, I'm going to cover him. And yeah, I feel like we've got the pace to get ahead of him on the track. So yeah, obviously a lot of cars coming into the pit lane at the end of lap 4, which releases us up into P7. And we're not in any traffic, which is good, but unfortunately Lewis Hamilton isn't in any traffic either. So yeah, we're not losing any time to our teammate Vettel, who will probably pit around lap 10, you'd imagine. So yeah, we've set the fastest lap of the race, and that's what we've got to keep doing. We've really got to keep pace if we want to A, catch up with Hamilton, and B, make sure that we stay ahead of our teammate when he comes in to the pit lane. And sure enough, come lap 7, we do manage to close in on Lewis Hamilton, not within DRS range, but showing that the top-end speed of this Ferrari is improved a hell of a lot compared to the last 2 races. You can just see how much we gained on Hamilton there. I believe the Mercedes is a lot better on the exit of corners. It just seems to have really good acceleration. But this Ferrari engine in a straight line, maximum speed is brilliant. And there we go. We set the fastest lap of the race on lap 7, and we think about going for a move down the inside of Lewis Hamilton, and he runs a little bit wide through the first corner, and we go down his inside to take P2 in the race. It could be a net P1. Not quite sure how far ahead Vettel is at the moment. I believe the pit lane here, you lose about 22 seconds, so that is the magic number. That's what we need to keep below, and it's 22.5, so it's touch and go as to whether we're going to be leading this Grand Prix when Vettel does pit. But we got ahead of Hamilton without too many difficulties, so, you know, that's all that matters, really. And come lap 9, you can see down into turn 6, we run wide. These tyres are, they're not brand new, but still, the wear isn't terrible. I think that was more of a personal error on my part. But fortunately, Lewis Hamilton didn't manage to find his way past. It's just lost us a little bit more time compared to our teammate, which is not what we want. Just a matter of laps before he comes into the pits. And yeah, we lose about half a second on that lap, which is not what we want. We do sort of respond on the next lap with, you know, gaining about 0.3 of a second, but it's the end of lap 11 now. So, yeah, Vettel coming into the pit lane, only doing a 3-lap stint on those ultra-soft tyres, so he is going to be quick for all of those 3 laps. And now we're going to be able to see whether the Ferrari team can turn him around quickly. I'm sure it'll be quicker than me. Not that I'm bitter or anything, but yeah, the ultra softs go on, and yes, he is out cleanly and on to the racetrack. Now the question is, where is he going to emerge in this race? Is it going to be first? Is it going to be second? Or is it going to be third? It could be any of those. It really does hang in the balance. And there he goes out of the pit lane, and he is in the lead of this race. It's not by much, but yeah. My prediction of losing about 22 seconds, I think, is correct, as he squeezes us to the inside of turn 1. Maybe even turn 2. I'm not sure which one is which, but nonetheless, Sebastian Vettel is still in the lead of this race. Now, at this point, it's really do or die for us. He's on those ultra-soft tyres, so he'll pull away if we don't go for a move, but we did go for a move there into turn 6, and we are back up into the lead of this race. But somehow, I don't think that's going to be the end of this battle. Vettel is going to be hungry for victory. He won't want to lose out to his rookie teammate. And, you know, especially when he's on those ultra-soft tyres, he'll know that he very much has the pace on us. And there you can see he's trying to go round that outside into turn 11 there. And as we go through this next snail section of turn 12, a little bit similar to the first and second corners on the track, you can see he's struggling for traction. We've had these tyres on for about 10 laps now, and Sebastian Vettel senses a victory here. He can almost smell it. He can also almost smell my gearbox as he goes down the inside of us, and I think he's going to get the position, but no, we lift off the throttle and go to the inside, and we somehow managed to maintain P1 for the meantime. And that was a lovely little move, reminiscent of Daniel Ricciardo, of a move he did on Sebastian Vettel all the way back in 2014. But Vettel has got us into the final turn, and well, he's only just managed to do it. Unfortunately, we got quite good traction off the final corner, and so we do manage to get back past, or do we? Is Vettel going to go down our inside? It's neck and neck as we go through the first and second corners, but we're going to have the inside line for turn 3. But no, Vettel sweeps around our outside. The traction of those ultra soft tyres as we approach, as we enter the final lap of the race, means that he is going to be ahead of us. But going down into turn 6, are we going to be able to go around the outside? It's going to be very difficult to do that here at China, especially with the traction that Vettel has got. And as now we go through the middle sector, through the sweeping left-hander of turn 7, Vettel is ahead. We're no longer side by side, and it is going to be incredibly difficult for us to find a way through until the back straight. I think that's going to be our best opportunity, but you can see as he exits turn 10, the traction that he gets compared to us is unreal. So yeah, it's going to be very difficult to do so. He's nearly 0.8 ahead now. He's probably pulled about half a second in that turn in 9 and 10 complex, but still we are going to use all the ERS that we've got. We've got about 30% left, and we are going to unleash it all on this final straight. We are going to get DRS. We're a long way back, but we're already gaining on Sebastian Vettel. You can see his name tag just getting bigger and bigger. And now as Valtteri Bottas exits the race, we go for a move now into the penultimate corner. And we just about managed to make the move stick, I think. Yes, we do. Now Vettel is going to try and come back at us in the final corner, but I don't think he's going to manage it. And we come through the final turn. What an end to this Grand Prix it was. And we win our first race of the season. That was one hell of a victory. And boy, oh boy, have we made our mark. Wow, what a race that was. It was a game of tactics, but also a game of speed in the end. It was just a shootout between myself and Vettel. And Daniel Ricciardo got ahead of Hamilton at the last minute as well, into P3, which was very interesting to see. And I believe Carlos Sainz as well took P5. Bottas retiring right at the end of the race. So an awful last lap for Mercedes, which saw them lose a heap of points right at the death. But yeah, there we take a look at the driver's standings. We are closing in on our teammate Sebastian Vettel as Daniel Ricciardo jumps up to P3 ahead of Lewis Hamilton. So yeah, that overtake had more ramifications than just the on-track positions. But as we look at the constructors, it's been a brilliant start for Ferrari. And yeah, fantastic. And obviously P1 in the championship currently.
Great work out there today. How do you think it went? You took the top points today. Was it a comfortable win?
Well, you know what? Everything on that car felt fantastic today. I think we've really proved ourselves as the best team on the grid.
Well, looks like your luck has changed. Things went a lot better than last weekend, didn't they?
You know what? I'm going to praise the engine guys. They've done a brilliant job on this car and yeah, really closed the gap on Mercedes in that respect.
Another podium. You must be getting used to it up there.
I mean, I think the team expects it. They've criticised me enough for finish on the podium, so yeah, I'm just going to say that one.
That was a close finish. How are things between the two of you?
You know what? I'm going to stir the pot a bit. I don't want Vettel to think he's got an easy ride against me.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Well, that is it for the Chinese Grand Prix, and we have taken our first victory, hopefully of many, in this career mode. And yeah, I can't wait to go on and hopefully get more results like that as the season goes on. It's going to be tough, but I'm sure that we can give it our best shot. We've made our presence known against our teammate Vettel. He's not having an easy ride. Hopefully that will be the case as well in the next round. Do make sure to tune in then as well. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Do take care. Bye-bye.